Today on MTG Unpacked, it's pre-release week for the latest Magic set, Tarkir Dragonstorm, and we're getting stuck into the Sultai Arisen Commander deck. So this is a black, green, blue deck, filling the graveyard and returning with zombie druids. Sounds awesome. And the commanders here, we have Teval and Kotis. You get a collector booster sample pack, 100 card deck with 10 new cards, deck box, 10 double-sided token, strategy, insert, and reference card. So let's get into it. So this one has a very distinct theme. Let's see what the saying is here. Death is fertile ground. Alright, and here's our collector booster sample pack. And a whole bunch of other stuff in here as well. Alright, so we'll take a look here. Sultai Arisen. So it tells you about playing the deck, the rules of Commander in case you're new to the format. And then we have some lore here about Teval, the Balance Scale, and Kotis Sibzig Champion. Alright, so very cool artwork right there. Then the colours of magic on the other side. Okay, so what else we got here? A deck box. I always make fun of these things because they are sort of flimsy, but I guess they get the job done. You could fit a sleeved commander deck in here. And then we also have some punch outs, some counters. Alright, and let's check out our collector booster sample pack. So usually these are not that exciting, but we do like to see them. Sometimes we get surprised. There's more where that came from on the other side. QR code, and we got Terza Light Shatter. Nice borderless art, and a foil Boulderborn Dragon. Okay, so that was sort of anticlimactic. So let's get into the deck here. So this is one of the pricier ones, currently going for about 81 bucks on TCG Player. That is US dollars. I would not recommend paying that price. Wait till it's a little bit cheaper. Closer to 50 is much better. Starting off here, we have a Mythic. Teval, the Balance Scale Legendary Creature Spirit Dragon, 4/4 for 1 black, green, and blue. Has flying whenever it attacks. Mill 3 cards and you may return a land card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. So if you're not aware, milling, you're just taking cards from the top of your library and dumping them into the graveyard. And whenever one or more cards leave your graveyard, create a 2/2 black zombie druid creature token. That sounds fun. And our second commander here, so you could use either one. We have Kotis Sibzig Champion, Legendary Creature, Zombie Warrior, another Mythic. 3/3 for black, green, and blue. Once during each of your turns, you may cast a creature spell from your graveyard by exiling 3 other cards from your graveyard in addition to paying its other costs. And whenever one or more creatures you control enter, if one or more of them entered from a graveyard or was cast from a graveyard, put 2 +1/+1 counters on Kotis. So this guy gets pretty beefy, I would imagine. Alright, grabbing a chunk of the deck here. And we start off with Diviner of Mist. Creature Dragon, 4/5 for 4 and a blue with flying. Whenever this creature attacks, mill 4 cards. You may cast an instant or sorcery spell from your graveyard with mana value 4 or less without paying its mana cost. If that spell will be put into your graveyard, exile it instead. Then we have Afterlife from the Loam. Sorcery for 5 and 3 black, has Delve. So each card you exile from your graveyard while casting this spell pays for 1. For each player, choose up to 1 target creature card in that player's graveyard. Put those cards onto the battlefield under your control. What? The zombies in addition to their other types. Admittedly, it is a high mana cost, so that's probably a late game thing. Then we have Teval's Judgment Enchantment for 2 and a black. Whenever one or more cards leave your graveyard, choose one that hasn't been chosen this turn. Draw a card. Create a treasure token. Create a 2/2 black zombie druid creature token. Then we have Welcome the Dead. Sorcery for 3 and a black. Draw 2 cards and discard a card and you lose 2 life. Create X tapped 2/2 black zombie druid creature tokens where X is the number of cards that will put into your graveyard from your hand or library this turn. Has flashback for 5 and a black, so you can cast this card from your graveyard for its flashback cost, then exile it. Next up, we've got a Floral Evoker. Creature Snake Druid, 2/3 for 2 and a green, has landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. And for green and discarding a creature card, you get to return target land card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Next up, we have Steward of the Harvest. Creature Human Druid, 3/3 for 3 and a green. When this creature enters, exile up to 3 target land cards from your graveyard. Creatures you control have all activated abilities of all land cards exiled with this creature. Okay, that seems like it could be a little dangerous. We'll see how that plays out. Colossal Grave Reaver. Creature Dragon, 7/6 for 6 black and green with flying. Whenever this creature enters or attacks, mill 3 cards. Whenever one or more creature cards are put into your graveyard from your library, put one of them onto the battlefield. Then we have Will of the Sultai. Sorcery for 4 and a green. Choose one. If you control a commander as you cast a spell, you may choose both instead. Target player mills 3 cards. Return all land cards from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Put X +1/+1 counters on target creature where X is the number of lands you control. It gains trample until end of turn. Grave Crawler. Creature Zombie, 2/1 for a single black. This creature can't block. You may cast this card from your graveyard as long as you control a zombie. Life from the Loam. Sorcery for 1 and a green. Return up to 3 target land cards from your graveyard to your hand. Has Dredge 3, so if you draw a card, you may mill 3 cards. Instead, if you do, return this card from your graveyard to your hand. Casualties of War. Look at that mana cost. Sorcery for 2, 2 black and 2 green. Choose one or more. Destroy target artifact, creature, enchantment, land, or planeswalker. That is nuts. Then we have Amphan Mutineer. Creature Salamander Pirate, 3/3 for 3 and a blue. When this creature enters, it's all up to 1 target non-salamander creature. That creature's controller creates a 4/3 blue Salamander Warrior creature token. Has Encore for 4 and 2 blue, so you pay that cost. Exile this card from your graveyard. For each opponent, create a token copy that attacks that opponent this turn. If able, they gain haste. Sacrifice them at the beginning of the next end step. Activate only as a sorcery. Then we have a River Kelpie. Creature Beast, 3/3 for 3 and 2 blue. Whenever this creature or another permanent enters from a graveyard, draw a card. And whenever a player casts a spell from a graveyard, draw a card. Also has Persist. So when this creature dies, if it had no -1/-1 counters on it, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control with a -1/-1 counter on it. Dorthai Voidwalker. Creature Dorthai Rogue, 3/2 for 2 black, has Shadow. This creature can block or be blocked by only creatures with Shadow. If a card would be put into opponent's graveyard from anywhere, instead exile it with a Void counter on it. Tap, sack this creature, choose an exiled card an opponent owns with a Void counter on it. You may play it this turn without paying its mana cost. Then we have Disciple of Bolas. Creature Human Wizard, 2/1 for 3 and a black. When this creature enters, sacrifice another creature. You gain X life and draw X cards where X is that creature's power. Ooh, a mythic. I like the artwork on this one. Junji the Midnight Sky. Legendary creature Dragon Spirit, 5/5 for 3 and 2 black with flying and menace. When Junji dies, choose one. Each opponent discards 2 cards and loses 2 life. Put target non-dragon creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. You lose 2 life. And we have Living Death. Sorcery for 3 and 2 black. Each player exiles all creature cards from their graveyard, then sacrifices all creatures they control, then puts all cards they exile this way onto the battlefield. Lethal Scheme. Instant for 2 and 2 black, has Convoke. So your creatures can help cast a spell. Each creature you tap while casting the spell pays for 1 or 1 mana of that creature's color. Destroy target creature or planeswalker. Each creature that convoked this spell connives. So that means draw a card, then discard a card. If you discarded a non-land card, put a +1/+1 counter on that creature. And then we have another mythic. Lord of the Forsaken. Creature Demon, 6/6 for 4 and 2 black. Flying and Trample for black. Sack another creature. Target player mills 3 cards. Pay 1 life. Add colorless. Spend this mana only to cast a spell from your graveyard. Then we have Necromantic Selection. Sorcery for 4 and 3 black. Destroy all creatures and return a creature card put into a graveyard this way to the battlefield under your control. It's a black zombie in addition to its other colors and types. Exile Necromantic Selection. Necropolis Fiend. Creature demon 4/5 for 7 and 2 black. Has Delve and Flying. And for X, tap exile X cards from your graveyard. You get to give target creature -X until end of turn. And a mythic Noxious Gearhulk artifact creature construct 5/4 for 4 and 2 black with Menace. When this creature enters, you may destroy another target creature. If a creature is destroyed this way, you gain life equal to its toughness. Another mythic, Obnixilis the Fallen. Legendary creature demon 3/3 for 3 and 2 black. Has landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, you may have target player lose 3 life. If you do, put 3 +1/+1 counters on Obnixilis. Then we have Tasugo the Golden Fang. Legendary creature, human shaman 4/5 for 5 and a black. Has Delve. And for 2 and a combination of either 2 green, 2 blue, or a mix thereof, mill 2 cards and return a non-land card of an opponent's choice from your graveyard to your hand. Then we have a Woe Strider. Creature horror 3/2 for 2 and a black. When this creature enters, create a 0/1 white goat creature token. So we'll keep an eye out for that at the end. Sacrifice another creature, you get to scry 1. Also has Escape for 3 and 2 black. And exiling 4 other cards from your graveyard. You may cast this card from your graveyard for its escape cost. This creature escapes with 2 +1/+1 counters on it. Then we have Avenger of Zendikar Mythic. Creature elemental 5/5 for 5 and 2 green. When this creature enters, create a 0/1 green plant creature token for each land you control. Has landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, you may put a +1/+1 counter on each plant creature you control. Then we have another mythic here, Multani Yevamaya's Avatar. Legendary creature elemental avatar 0/0 for 4 and 2 green. Has reach and trample. It gets +1/+1 for each land you control and each land card in your graveyard. 1 and a green, return 2 lands you control to their owner's hand. You get to return this card from your graveyard to your hand. And Conduit of Worlds artifact for 2 and 2 green. You may play lands from your graveyard. Okay, I was wondering how we got them back. Tap, choose target non-land permanent card in your graveyard. If you haven't cast a spell this turn, you may cast that card. If you do, you can't cast additional spells this turn. Activate only as a sorcery. Okay, so the next part of the deck here. And we have Shigeki Jukai Visionary. Legendary enchantment creature Snake Druid 1/3 for 1 and a green. For 1 and a green, tap, return it to its owner's hand. Reveal the top 4 cards of your library. You may put a land card from among them onto the battlefield tapped. Put the rest into your graveyard. Also has Channel for 2 X's and 2 greens. Discard this card. You get to return X target non-legendary cards from your graveyard to your hand. Consuming Aberration. Creature Horror. Star for 3 blue and black. This creature's power and toughness are each equal to the number of cards in your opponent's graveyards. Whenever you cast a spell, each opponent reveals cards from the top of their library until they reveal a land card, then puts those cards into their graveyard. And another mythic here, Jarad Golgari Lichlord. Legendary creature zombie elf 2/2 for 2 black and 2 green. Jarad gets +1/+1 for each creature card in your graveyard, and for 1 black and green, sacrifice another creature. You get to make each opponent lose life equal to the sacrificed creature's power. And if you sacrifice a swamp and a forest, return this card from your graveyard to your hand. And Lord of Extinction, it's a mythic. Creature elemental star for 3 black and green. This creature's power and toughness are each equal to the number of cards in all graveyards. That thing is going to get huge. Then we have another mythic, Marin of Clan Nel Toth. Legendary creature, human shaman 3/4 for 2 black and green. Whenever another creature you control dies, you get an experience counter. At the beginning of your end step, choose target creature card in your graveyard. If that card's mana value is less than or equal to the number of experience counters you have, return it to battlefield. Otherwise, put it into your hand. And Command Beacon. It's a land, tap for colorless, tap, sack this land, put your commander into your hand from the command zone. Crypt of Agadim. Land enters tap, tap for black, or for 2 tap, add black for each black creature card in your graveyard. Darkwater Catacombs. It's land for 1 tap, add blue and black. And Dreamroot Cascade enters tapped unless you control 2 or more other lands, add green or blue. Exotic Orchard, it's a land, tap to add 1 mana of any colour that a land an opponent controls could produce. And Fetid Pools, tap for blue or black, this land enters tapped, cycle it for 2, so you pay 2, discard this card and draw a card. Hinterland Harbour enters tapped unless you control a forest or an island, tap for green or blue. And Llanowar Wastes, tap for colourless or tap to add black or green, this land deals 1 damage to you. And Sunken Hollow, tap for blue or black, this land enters tapped unless you control 2 or more basic lands. And Temple of Malady enters tapped. When it enters, scry 1, tap for black or green. Woodland Cemetery enters tapped unless you control a swamp or a forest, tap for black or green. And Essence Anchor, artifact for 2 and a blue. At the beginning of your upkeep, surveil 1. So that means look at the top card of your library, you may put it into your graveyard. And if you tap, create a 2/2 black zombie druid creature token. Activate only during your turn and only if a card left your graveyard this turn. Soul Ring, here it is in pretty much every commander deck. It's an artifact for 1, tap for 2, colourless. Arcane Signet, artifact for 2, tap to add 1 mana of any colour in your commander's colour identity. And Command Tower, tap to add 1 mana of any colour in your commander's colour identity. Forbidden Alchemy, instant for 2 and a blue. Look at the top 4 cards of your library, put 1 of them into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. Has flashback for 6 and a black. Hedron Crab, creature crab, 0/2 for a single blue. Has landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, target player mills 3 cards. Treasure Cruise has delve and draw 3 cards. So it's a sorcery for 7 and a blue. Wonder, creature incarnation, 2/2 for 3 and a blue. Has flying. As long as this card's in your graveyard and you control an island, creatures you control have flying. Phyrexian Reclamation, enchantment for a single black and for 1 and a black. Pay 2 life. You get to return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Reassembling Skeleton, creature Skeleton Warrior, 1/1 for 1 and a black. And for 1 and a black, return this card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Stitches Supplier, creature zombie, 1/1 for a single black. When this creature enters or dies, mill 3 cards. And Victimize, sorcery for 2 and a black. Choose 2 target creature cards in your graveyard. Sacrifice a creature. If you do, return the chosen cards to the battlefield tapped. Then we have a Kishla Skimmer, creature Bird Scout, 2/2 for green and blue with flying. Whenever a card leaves your graveyard during your turn, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. Crawling Sensation, it's an enchantment for 2 and a green. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may mill 2 cards. Whenever 1 or more land cards are put into your graveyard from anywhere for the first time each turn, create a 1/1 green insect creature token. Cultivate, sorcery for 2 and a green. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards. Reveal those cards. Put 1 onto the battlefield tapped and the other into your hand. Then shuffle. Farseek, sorcery for 1 and a green. Search your library for a plains, island, swamp or mountain card. Put it onto the battlefield tapped. Then shuffle. And Grapple with the Past, instant for 1 and a green. Mill 3 cards. Then you may return a creature or land card from your graveyard to your hand. Harrow, instant for 2 and a green. As an additional cost to cast a spell, sacrifice a land. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards. Put them onto the battlefield, then shuffle. Then we have an Opulent Palace. Land enters tapped. Tap for black, green, or blue. Rampant Growth, sorcery for 1 and a green. Search your library for a basic land card. Put that card onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Sakura Tribe Elder, creature Snake Shaman, 1/1 for 1 and a green. Sacrifice this creature. You get to search your library for a basic land card. Put that card onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. And Satyr Wayfinder, creature Satyr, 1/1 for 1 and a green. When this creature enters, rule the top 4 cards of your library. You may put a land card from among them into your hand. Put the rest into your graveyard. And Spring Bloom Druid, creature Elf Druid, 1/1 for 2 and a green. When this creature enters, you may sacrifice the land. If you do, search your library for up to 2 basic land cards. Put them onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Alright, so the final part of the deck here will cut out the tokens. We'll look at those at the end. Then we have Tear Asunder, instant for 1 and a green, has Kicker for 1 and a black, so you can pay that additional cost as you cast this spell. Exile target artifact or enchantment. If this spell was kicked, exile target non-land permanent instead. Timeless Witness, creature human shaman, 2/1 for 2 and 2 green. When this creature enters, return target card from your graveyard to your hand. Has Eternalize for 5 and 2 green. So you pay that cost, exile this card from your graveyard. You get to create a token that's a copy of it, except it's a 4/4 black zombie human shaman with no mana cost. Eternalize only as a sorcery. Grizzly Salvage, instant for black and green. Reveal the top 5 cards of your library. You may put a creature or land card from among them into your hand. Put the rest into your graveyard. Nyx Weaver, enchantment creature spider, 2/3 for 1 black and green. Has reach. At the beginning of your upkeep, mill 2 cards. And for 1 black and green, exile this creature. You get to return target card from your graveyard to your hand. Putrefy, instant for 1 black and green. Destroy target artifact or creature. It can't be regenerated. And Skull Prophet, creature human druid, 3/1 for black and green. Tap for black or green and tap mill 2 cards. Then we have Millikan, artifact creature construct, 0/1 for 2. Tap mill a card, add colorless mana. Then we have Cephalid Colosseum, another land. Tap for blue. This land deals 1 damage to you. Has Threshold for a blue. Tap, sack this land. Target player draws 3 cards and discards 3 cards. Activate only if 7 or more cards are in your graveyard. Foreboding Landscape, another land. Tap for colorless. Tap, sack this land. Search your library for basic swamp, forest, or island card. Put it onto the battlefield. Tap, then shuffle. You can cycle for black, green, and blue. Contaminated Aquifer, tap for blue or black. This land enters tapped. And Golgari Rot Farm, land enters tapped. When this land enters, return a land you control to its owner's hand. Tap for black and green. Haunted Maya, tap for black or green. Land enters tapped. And Memorial to Folly enters tapped. Tap for black or for 2 and a black. Tap, sack this land. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Myriad Landscape enters tap. Tap for colors for 2 taps. Sack this land. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards that share a land type. Put them onto battlefield tap. Then shuffle. And Terramorphic Expanse. Tap. Sack this land. Search your library for a basic land card. Put it onto the battlefield tapped. Then shuffle. And then we have some basic lands. 4 islands. 5 swamps. And 6 forests. Okay. So the tokens here, I really like this one. We've got a 2/2 zombie druid. Very cool. On the other side, treasure. So tap, sack this token, add 1 mana of any color. A 0/1 plant. On the other side, a 1/1 insect. There's our goat. 0/1 token goat. Awesome. And Timeless Witness, 4/4. When this token enters, return target card from your graveyard to your hand. 0/1 plant. And a 0/1 goat. Glad to see we've got a few goats there. 2/2 zombie druid and a 1/1 insect. Another zombie druid and a salamander warrior, 4/3. 0/1 plant with another goat. Yes, 2/2 zombie druid with a 1/1 insect. And an experience counter, that's cool. And treasure on the other side, plant, and an insect, and on your turn, and popular Magic formats. So this deck is quite distinct from the previous one we looked at. It does have a dragon, but most of what it's about is sending stuff to the graveyard, bringing things back, taking advantage of when you do that, so you get extra tokens and so forth. So it looks like a fun deck. Let me know in the comments what you think about this one. And like I said, don't overpay for this one. It should be closer to $50. Currently going for 81 on TCG Player. And if you've missed any of the Tarkir Dragonstorm videos on the channel, I'll pop a link in the corner to the complete playlist. And stay tuned, we'll be getting stuck into the remaining Commander decks for the rest of this week. Hope everyone's staying safe and healthy out there. Thanks for watching and have a great day.